Tell me your name and what do you do?
My name is Steven Fields, and I work for AT&T.
Okay, Stephen. And tell me what it is that you would like to talk to me about today.
Today, I would like to talk about being a father.
Okay. And why is that important?
It is important because it shapes me as an individual and as a man.
Okay. And can you elaborate some more?
When I first became a father, I did not know how I would do. I was nervous. I was anxious. I didn't really know what to expect. I've never been a father before, and I was embarking on this new journey of taking care of another life form.
Okay. All right. And so tell me, when did you first become a father?
March 24th, 2017 was the day my daughter was born.
Okay. And can you elaborate more on that for me?
She was born in Lexington Hospital in Columbia, South Carolina. Her mother was obviously pregnant, was having contractions, went to work every single day. And on the last day, on March 24th, she came, I guess what we had believed to be prematurely, but it wasn't. I guess her mother had worked herself into having contractions, and her water broke in the emergency room at 9 o'clock p.m. when we went to go get her checked. The test came back fine, but then like literally as soon as they took the little monitors off her stomach and then walked out of the room, her water broke immediately, and she had to be rushed up to delivery to birth my daughter.
How was that experience for you as a first-time dad?
It was exciting. It was different. The energy was high. You could tell it was like Christmas times 10 for like the first time. But I don't know, it was just unique. I remember parking my car, moving it from the emergency room and parking it in the parking lot. And literally, as soon as I came back up the elevator, I sat in the waiting room. And like a dummy, I didn't realize that the phone ringing in in the waiting room was for me. And then I let it ring through once. It rang a second time. And my daughter's grandmother picked up the phone and gave me the phone and said, "It's for you." And on the phone, my daughter's mother told me in a half hollering voice that she was holding it in trying to give birth before I got to the room. And I remember running out of the waiting room down the hallway into the delivery room.
Okay. So tell me again, I want to dig in deeper to understand, why is fatherhood so important to you?
Fatherhood is important to me because I didn't have a very close relationship with my father growing up. He was a hardworking man, worked multiple jobs. But to my father, providing and being a father were the same in his mind. He believed there was a roof over your head, food on the table. There's no reason why you should complain. I'm a great father. Not realizing that to be a great parent or a great father, that he needed to be involved in my life, involved in decisions that I made, involved in questions that I had about life, questions that I had about being, at the time, a young boy, learning to be a man. He needed more involvement that he didn't make time for, but he made time for the work aspect. So for me, I'm a hard worker and I'm focused on work, but I'm focused on the time I spend with my daughter. I always will have time for her, whether I'm sick, tired. out of it or just ain't feeling it, it doesn't matter. That I will always make time for her, for any questions or just because.
Okay. So speaking on your father, right? Can you tell us a little bit more about like your childhood and how did that relationship begin?
When my father, when I was younger, when I was probably like 7, probably up until about 7 or 8, my father was my hero. I was up underneath him all the time. I loved hanging around him. He was such a people's person. He was a funny guy. He was cool. Everybody liked him. He was hard working. Uh, he was that guy in my mind. He could do no wrong. He was superhuman. He's 6'7". He's a big guy. You feel safe. So it's like a hero type deal until we lived in Charleston, South Carolina at the time. We relocated to Columbia, South Carolina, probably a little after my 10th birthday. And then my father, him and my mom started going their separate ways in the relationship, but they tried to stay together for the kids. So I had to pick up the pieces for my mother during the time where she still loved my father and my father didn't love her anymore. So my father lost his luster, I guess you could say, in my eyes. His position had downgraded because he didn't do what I believed to be the man's duty. So me and my father fell out of ways we probably was completely out of it, probably when I was like 12. And I would lose no sleep if I didn't see him anymore, which is unfortunate, especially me as a man now. I know the father that I'm aspiring to be to my daughter, and to believe that I wouldn't lose any sleep over not seeing my father again. It bothers me, but I think it bothers me because it doesn't bother me, in a sense. Like, I know it should bother me, but it doesn't. And I think that's what bothers me when it comes to my father. So, I try to pick up the pieces as a grown man now with my father as best I can, based off of the relationship and what I try to play the role I try to play to my daughter. I try to be great for my daughter, so because I try to be great for my daughter, I try to pick up the pieces for my father because of me aspiring to be great for my daughter.
Okay. So what are some of the traits that you have used, or, being a parent is always a learning situation, right? So what are some of the things that you had to jump in immediately to become a great dad?
No days off. I try to contribute when my daughter used to be obviously small, where she couldn't do for herself. She still can't do for herself, but I mean, like when she could barely hold her head up. I tried to be involved as much as possible with her in the middle of the night, feeding her, changing her. I guess, sometimes people love to say what men do and what women do. I try to have no guidelines like that. Like, there's nothing that I wouldn't do or take care of for my daughter. I'm not great at doing her hair. I got dad fingers when it comes to her hair, but I could do a mean ponytail, though. But that's the extent of it all. But I definitely work at trying to be everything for her. I try to love on her constantly, unconditionally. Everything is a teachable moment. Even when she does things, she's 3 now. Even when she does stuff she has no business doing, normally, I tell her that it's wrong, but then, I strive to not stay mad at her and to love her up just as much as she would be, right, spiritually torn down because daddy is not pleased. But I definitely strive to love her as much or more than when I have to tell her no.
Okay. So, as parents, right, we make difficult decisions in regards to our kids, right?
No.
What is probably one of the most difficult things that you've had to do in regards to your daughter?
Leaving an unhealthy relationship when it came to my daughter's mother was rough because we had been together a little over 5 years. I I was mid-20s, so like from then all the way through to 30, we had been together, been through a lot, had experienced a lot, and at this point, I'm bound to this relationship by a child. I was terrified about leaving her because I did not want to feel like I was leaving my daughter. I didn't want to feel like I was abandoning my child. I really needed my daughter. Whether people realized it or not, whether her mother realized it or not, my daughter plays a big factor in the things that I do and the successes that I have. When I win, it's a win for us, for me and her. Everything just, the victory is good, but it's even sweeter because I experienced it with her. But I had to leave her mother, which was unhealthy for me. I was angry, depressed, stressed. I was drunk half the time, still trying to be there for my daughter, but not for the relationship. And I took a chance and I walked away from the relationship. And I thought in the moment, I thought I wasn't going to see my daughter anymore. So I was like real fearful because I was like, I'm going to lose my daughter walking away from her. And it was definitely, now looking back at it, because that was like a little bit after, I think it was just around the time my daughter was 1. And my daughter is a little over 3 now. So like just about 2 years ago, I walked away, and I'm so much further now in these 2 years than I'd ever been the 5 years that I was with her. But it was such a learning experience in terms of I just disciplined myself and I just went without for a lot of things and just focused on myself and my personal life and my financial life, trying to live better and be better for my daughter. Wanted to create a healthy space for her to live in, a healthy environment for her to grow up in, and show her a healthy relationship. Love her constantly, be there for her constantly whenever she needed me. That's always been my focus. But it was definitely terrifying walking away because you don't know what's going to happen. I didn't know what was going to happen, but it panned out. It turned out well. Mm-hmm. I turned out okay.
Okay. So looking at that, right, that was probably one of the hardest experiences that you've had to face, right?
Yeah.
So if we take it, looking back at it today, right, in hindsight, I guess you can say, right, do you regret any of the choices or decisions that you made in regards to your daughter?
When it comes to my daughter, no. I don't regret any of those decisions. I think I did the best that I could with what I knew at that time. Because there were certain things I didn't know or understand. So I might have done or said things, but I did the best and said the best that I could in those moments based on what I knew.
Okay. But what I mean is, I'm sorry, is that, do you feel that leaving that relationship was healthy for or conducive for your daughter?
Yes.
How so?
Because I had a lot of bad habits that I had to kick, leaving my daughter's mother, with the drinking and the arguing and the fights. It was just an extremely negative environment. So I definitely feel like it was conducive to my daughter's wellness, because kids can feel when their parents aren't there. And I wanted an opportunity to give her the best opportunity to have a positive situation without giving up my mental healthiness, my spiritual healthiness. Because in those situations, I was definitely living that type of life.
Okay. So definitely glad to see you in like a better, positive space, energy-wise.
Yeah.
So tell me, to kind of just like backtrack to go back to your father, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are some of the things that you've learned from him on how to be a great dad, but also some of the things that you have taken and say that you would do this differently in becoming a dad?
I have my dad's work ethic. I work hard. And the things that I take from my father that I said I would do differently would be that I'm there for my daughter constantly. I probably borderline harass my daughter, like in her mind. I'm sure I get on her nerves consistently, because like I'm always, is she okay? I hug her. I tell her I love her. Does she know I love her? She know I always miss her. Like I always ask her, because it's like I need her to know that I love her and that I miss her at all times, even when I'm not with her. That I always miss her, no matter what. Mm-hmm. She's a piece of me that I feel like I get. I can't pull her close enough. She's so far from me, in feeling, right? Like you want to protect them. I want to cover her. I want her to never hurt. I want her to never have pain. I never want to see her fall. I never want to see her cry. And she does. I'm moving mountains and skies for her, So, but she has to learn. She has to grow. I can't coddle her, or I guess the word would be, I don't know, just overprotective, I guess. I don't want to be that. It's like I do, but I don't. I don't want her to be, unaware of the world around her, but I also fear for her learning the world around her.
I understand. So, as we talked earlier in this interview, right? We were talking about, like your struggles, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think you said that fatherhood was something that was scary for you because it was the first time.
Yep.
And as a first-time parent, you tend to become nervous, right? How do you feel like you've overcame the struggle of being a great dad or a great, like, mentor to your daughter, right?
By being the best that I can every day, every opportunity I can. I try to treat others how I would want them to treat her, treat me. I try to be good because I feel, I believe in karma, but I don't believe karma sometimes doesn't get us. It gets our kids, and I don't want karma to get my daughter at all. Nothing that I've done. So I try to do right by others. I try to teach her to do right by others, share what others love, but be strong, right? Like I want her to be, a lady, but a strong one. She cries. It's okay for her to cry, but not for long. I don't want her, just boo-hooing because, like, she got to pick herself back up, because she got to learn self-control on picking herself up because nobody else is going to do that for her.
Yeah, I like it. So, what would you say, like, you and your daughter's relationship are obviously close, right?
Yes.
What are some of the, like, things you guys share or you like to do that's, like, daddy and daughter time?
We love, I don't know, anything really that I do with her. I enjoy it. She likes to play. I like to watch. I like to sit outside, listen to music, take in the weather on the porch. She likes to play. I watch. Swim together. She likes to play. I watch. We love to eat, snack together. That's my snack buddy. Snack buddy for days. We eat cookies and mac and cheese, and that's her favorite is mac and cheese and eggs, scrambled eggs.
Okay.
So I think, it really could be anything that's daddy-daughter for me. I just enjoy the moments with her. I just feel like I can't have enough of them with her. I have them and I'm so, like, smitten with the moment that I'm just, like, excited about the next one.
I understand. So, last question for you, right? So, you said your daughter's 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, if you could tell yourself 3 years ago, right, what kind of father you would be, what would you tell the older version of yourself?
What would I tell the old Steven? Sheesh. Old Steven. If I was to talk to the old Steven, I would say, don't be scared. Don't be afraid to take risks and chances towards your life for the betterment of yourself, for your daughter. Learn to let go. Let it go. People only do the best that they know. Even if it's hurting you, it's mean to you, it's disrespectful. Unfortunately for them, that's the best that they know sometimes, and they don't mean it. Anger is so tiring. You'll wear yourself out being angry. You can't blame them. Just pray for them. Still be the best you could be. And just let it go. The sooner you let it go, the easier it gets. The more you accept reality for what it is and not for the expectation that you have of it, right? Because that's what has you angry, is that your expectation of the individuals were a certain thing, and when they did not meet that expectation, it set your soul on fire. You were such a fiery individual. You love hard. You're passionate. You meant it. And it hurts. It hurts a lot because they fell short. Because you did love that hard and they refused to want to love you in return the same. Right? Because you love hard because your father didn't love you hard. So, you do everything you do is because of the lack in your life. Right? If somebody wasn't nice to you, you aspire to be kind. And if somebody was angry, you try to be calm. If somebody was impatient, you try to find patience because you're a weirdo balancer, right? Like, that's your purpose for balancing life as a weirdo. Like, that's what you do, Steven, is you balance the negatives with positives. And it gives your positives purpose. You do it because of that. And a lot of people don't know that about you, if any at all. that's how you balance the negative in your life. When people mistreat you, you try to give it a purpose of, well, there's something better for me or something meant for me to learn from this. And you take everything as lessons. Everything is a lesson. Even when you hate it. You'll even say it out loud, I hate it. And still try to do the right thing. Because that's you finding the balance in your life.
Great. Well, I think those are some great words that you said. Thank you for sitting down with me today and letting me interview you.
Thank you.